Back again, folks, this time building a brown orangey looking thing, caravan. I think it's more of a caravan type of thing. I didn't really make any kind of plan for this one. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't sit at home with blueprints. But yeah, usually I have some kind of idea in my head of what I'm actually going to be building. Like, you know, I want to make a red house, like a barnyard kind of thing. But this one I just kind of went with it, and yeah, it just kind of turned out a bit like a caravan in the desert. I do prefer doing smaller builds, which I'm sure everyone does, because they're so much easier to furnish and do the decorations and stuff. Like, I'm so out of my depth with big builds because I'm not really that creative. Like, if you were to watch a lot of my videos, and believe me, I would encourage you to, it's well worth the time, but if you do watch them, you'll probably notice that, you know, I don't really have that much of a creative flair. I just use what I'm given. You know, I'm a typical little Englander. I'm not really that fussy. I just make the most of what I got. I don't really know what I was trying to do here. I was trying to do something with fairy lights because I thought, well, maybe I could go for a little bohemian, hippie-ish sort of vibe, but it just didn't happen. I mean, you can see clearly I tried, and I'm not creative enough to come up with some kind of solution for that. So we scrapped that one in the end. We thought we'd just go with what we've got. So yeah, I mean, larger houses are really difficult, not only to furnish because there's not enough decorations in The Sims for a massive house, but also I never know where to place things. I always find that I'll build like a living room and there'll just be a massive space in the middle, and then no matter how much I move things around to try and make it fit, it just always looks a bit odd or off centre, and I just don't, you know, believe me, I am a simmer. I spend a lot of time on The Sims, but I'm not that patient, and I really don't put that much effort into things. You know how you get people that they pride themselves on what they do? Well, I'm not one of those people. I'm just not. I remember once when I had an appraisal for an old job I had. I don't know why I said this, but yeah, I was having a review, and I was like 18 at the time, to be fair, so I was young and stupid. But when I was having my review, I literally just said to my boss, yeah, well, I think the problem is I'm just not really much of a doer, Debbie. And I look back and think, maybe that wasn't the smartest thing to say to your boss, to tell them that you're not really a doer and that you don't really like getting off your ass. And I realise actually now, as I'm talking, I must come across like such a fucking slob that all I do is just sit at home and play The Sims, which is only half true. Yes, I sit at home and just play The Sims all day, but I do other stuff as well. But I won't bore you with the details of going into what it is I actually do. You'll just have to trust what I'm saying in that I do other stuff. So agree to disagree on that one. But yeah, I never used to be, when I was younger, I wasn't really that smart with my words. I just would sell myself short a lot, and or I would like overtalk my own abilities and be like, oh yeah, I can do this, I can speak Italian, and I fucking couldn't. I was just saying that because I wanted to seem interesting, but the truth was I didn't really know any jack all Italian. But yeah, now I'm a bit more upfront and realistic with people, and I mean, I think this turned out all right. I don't think it's the best. I think it's quite cosy, but smaller houses are so, I'm not going to say they're so easy, but they are quite easy in terms of decorating them and making them look quite realistic. And I think, I don't know whether that's just everyone who plays The Sims thing or whether that's a me thing, because I am from England, and the house that I grew up in was very small, and all of the houses around me and, you know, my friends' houses were also very small. So maybe it's not that it's easier to furnish small houses. I mean, it is, but if that's not the case, then it's probably just because this is more what I'm used to. I know how little houses look better than big houses because I've never had a big house, and I've not really been to many big houses, so it's difficult to try and work purely off imagination with bigger houses. Smaller houses, they're a home from home for me. Also, I tend to find that and I probably will upload this video because I made a house that was kind of British inspired, because it looks kind of like the house I grew up in. So yeah, I tend to find making houses that remind me of home are a lot easier, obviously, because, you know, I see those kind of houses and those kind of buildings, whereas I'm a little bit out of my depth with the kind of building style with, you know, bigger buildings. You tend to find that bigger houses are more American style houses, like the one I did, what was it, the blue house, the first one I did, that kind of, to me anyway, looks like an American house. It doesn't really, you wouldn't see that house in the UK, you just wouldn't. I mean, to be fair, this house you also wouldn't see in the UK because, you know, we don't have a desert, but the kind of layout or the style is kind of similar, like inside to like a little masonette or something, which is quite common in the UK. So there we go, short little video, hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks very much, guys.